Hey guys, so in today's video, I wanted to address a question that I got from someone in my personal life. And basically, what I wanted to do is talk about the question that they asked me and then share my answer. Sorry, I got a little bit thrown off by a text message that I was just looking at. Um, so, this question has to do with the wheelchair that I use and if I plan to continue to use this wheelchair if I have to remain in a wheelchair long term. So, I think that there's multiple facets to that question. So, one of the questions being, or one of the parts of the question being, am I going to have to remain in a wheelchair long term? And the answer to that question is we don't really know how long I'm going to be in a wheelchair. We don't know what function I'm going to gain back, if any more than what I already have. It is kind of a long recovery process, and I have a neurological condition that is long term and lifelong, and it's a dynamic disability, which is something that changes from day to day, minute to minute, hour to hour, kind of just depending on what you're going through, the kinds of things that you're doing, and how your body responds to those. Um, so, as of right now, I am still mostly paralyzed on my right side, um, with the exclusion to that being I can move my right thumb, my right index finger. I can contract some of my wrist muscles, and I am able to wiggle my toes on my right foot. Other than that, I don't have function on that side. So it is something that we kind of play it day by day to see how things are going to go. But I do currently use a wheelchair 24/7, 365, unless I am sitting on the couch or laying down in bed or taking a shower, going to the bathroom, things like that. Um, so basically, the question was, do I plan to keep this wheelchair if I have to use a wheelchair long term? Absolutely not. There are so many reasons why I need a different wheelchair if I'm going to be a long term, full time, or even part time wheelchair user. Part of that being the wheelchair that I have is one of the wheelchairs that you kind of get in the hospital or like in a nursing home, and it is very heavy. So, like, if I was to have to use this wheelchair on my own, I would have a difficult time with it. It is also not ergonomically safe to use long term, just because of how it is. So, what I would like to do if I do need a wheelchair long term is get a lightweight wheelchair, something where the axis or the axle, however they say it, is more in line with where my shoulder is so that it is not damaging my good shoulder. Because I've already had surgery on my right shoulder and I have a very stiff shoulder right now because I have to use the orthotic or the brace on a regular basis to stop my shoulder, my right shoulder, from subluxing. And so I just feel like there are many more wheelchairs that would be better, like health wise, for me to use instead of this one. This one weighs somewhere around 40 pounds, whereas if I had a lightweight wheelchair, it would weigh much, much less than 40 pounds. To be able to have a wheelchair that I could take the wheels off of and put it in the seat behind me, things like that, that would be helpful. Now, the issue with that would be cost if insurance doesn't cover the full cost, because custom wheelchairs, especially custom lightweight wheelchairs, are expensive. I have kind of looked into a few different options. There are some that I have come across that have payment plans and things like that. So that's always an option too, to make monthly payments on a wheelchair if it's something that I need. Obviously, in the long run, we're hoping that I don't need a wheelchair long term, but like I said, they told me to be thankful for whatever little bit of function I get back, if any. And they don't really know because it is kind of a day by day process, just kind of moving through life, seeing what we're able to get back, if anything. So reason that this is kind of iffy to me is the fact that I have gone so long without physical therapy, because going from inpatient rehab where I had an hour and a half of therapy every day, Monday through Saturday, or at least one of the weekend days, um, it's very frustrating to me that I have not had any sort of physical therapy other than like the physical therapy exercises that I'm able to do at home that they sent me home with in the little packet. I feel like I would be much more progressed, or at least have a chance of being much more progressed, if I had been able to start physical therapy at the same time that I was able to start occupational therapy, because I've been doing occupational therapy for a month now and was able to regain function, or a little bit of movement at least, in two of the fingers on my right hand. So I'm not able to move it a whole lot, but I am able to get some movement, which is better than nothing. Because when I was at inpatient rehab, my hand, my arm, all of it was completely flaccid. And so to have any sort of movement in my thumb, my hand, all of that is super exciting to me. So, just to answer your question, no, I would not choose to use this wheelchair long term if I had any other option. For now, this is what insurance paid for. And I'm sure it's because they feel like this was the best option. They didn't know exactly how long I would need a wheelchair for, and we were kind of taking things um, on a case by case basis, kind of hoping for the best as far as recovery goes. And this is kind of one of the cheaper chairs. I think it is a Drive medical chair. I think it's a Carrier 3 model. It's like $300, something like that. Um, so it is definitely one of the less expensive models of chair. And honestly, even the seat cushion that they gave me, I was able to find one that was much less painful for me to sit in all day long, um, on Amazon, than the one that the um, durable medical equipment company brought me with this chair. They also brought me a backrest, and I've actually been using the seat cushion that they brought me with this chair as a backrest, and using the seat cushion that I got from Amazon as a seat cushion. So, if that tells you anything, it is not a very comfortable process being in a wheelchair, but I feel like it would definitely help if I was able to get a custom wheelchair. It's just something that we might look into down the road if I do end up needing a wheelchair long term. So, like I said, we don't really know currently if I will, and if I do, we don't know what insurance will cover and things like that. So, it's just stuff that we're going to have to take into consideration and cross that bridge if and when we come to it. So, hopefully that answered your question. If you guys have any other um, comments or questions or suggestions or topics you would like me to talk about, leave them down below, and I would be glad to get something filmed for you. And yeah, I will talk to you guys in my next video.